All right, so thank you all for coming. It's always really nice to be connected through community through this interface. It's such a different time that we're moving through with our practice. What you will need today is a block. If you don't already have one, now's a good time to grab it. So our flow today, slow flow, will be moving into back bending with ease. Now, what does that even mean? So it's easy to muscle your way into back bends, which might not immediately have an effect on your spine or cause you any pain in the moment, but try your very best to develop a slow moving practice so that we never get to that point of pain or sensation. We're just going to gradually go through a flow. And we'll just, let's get to it. All right, so come into a seated position, sitting up nice and tall, whatever that looks like for you. You could be sitting cross-legged or even kneeling. I like to sit with a block between my feet, and this helps to release the knees below the hips. And we'll just give ourselves a few grounding breaths. Notice how it feels to feel the breath pass the nostrils. And on the exhale, the shoulders, they soften. You can even feel the heat exchange from the external air and warm your entire body. Now breathe in a way that you can feel your lower back, mid back, and the upper back expand. And just take your time, there's no rush. Feel the sides of your body, the ribs, as they move to the left and the right side of the room. And softening back down. And we'll just take 2 more breaths. Maybe this time timing the inhale to match your exhale. Maybe a count of 3 and a count of 3 on the exhale. All right, start to blink your eyes open. Now, if you're sitting cross-legged, change the cross of your legs. You can even move into cross legs if you're going from kneeling over. All right, so big breath in, reach your arms up. Nice stretch through the sides, then bring your right hand down, left hand up. Take a full breath in, lengthen through the side of the body, and as you exhale, feel the baby finger turn towards the floor. Now, there's some movement into the shoulder blade, into the serratus anterior. Those are those like cheese grater, I like to call them, muscles and sides. Keep your head hanging. Take a breath in, then exhale to reach your left arm up and over, away from the shoulder. Now, while we're here, rotate through the palm. Just that little movement will change the stretch in your neck. Work with what feels good in your body. Nice full breaths. Now bring your right hand to your cheek, help your head up to center. Take a big breath in, reach arms up. Exhale the left arm down, right hand up. Full inhale, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, tip. And just explore the sensation as you welcome the breath, filling up the entire rib cage. Let the ear drop towards the left shoulder. Big breath in. Exhale up and over. Stretch the fingertips away from the ear. Rotate through the hand. You could even shift the chin forward and back. Send whatever gritchy tensions in your neck, send it out your fingertips. And bring your hand to your ear, help your head back up to center, shoulder roll. Now, as we start to get deeper into the practice, let's move into eagle arms. Breathe in. Exhale, bring the right arm under your left, bind at your elbows and then at the wrist. If this isn't working for you, grab for the opposite shoulder blades and pull the shoulder blades forward. So as we get into the practice, we'll be unlocking areas of the body before getting into the deeper back bends towards the end of our class, or apex of the class. Here you can feel the upper back stretching, so scoop your elbows forward and up, press your forearms away from your face. Now if you want, you can just play with the position of the arms. You can bring the elbows towards the belly, you can bring them back up in line with the shoulders, maybe even tapping your forehead to the biceps. Now just hold in whatever sensation you're feeling the best stretch across your upper back. Breathe into it 4 or 5 breaths here. Now when we are in stress or high levels of anxiety, we tend to lock up and have pain between the shoulder blades, that space right behind your heart. So this will help. This will actually close the way we breathe and tighten up, creating other sorts of knots in the body. Good. Lift your forehead up. If it was down, take a breath in, reach up. Other side. Left under the right, bind at your elbows and then at the wrists. Bring the right shoulder down so they're in line with each other, and then scoop your elbows forward and up. Again, the option, grab for the opposite shoulder blades, give yourself a big hug, pull your shoulders forward. Play with that position again, so maybe elbows come down. Embellish your breath into your upper back. See if you could sit up a little bit taller, even though your forehead may be bowing towards the biceps. Try to find that nice length and height in your spine. A few more breaths. Good. All right, inhale, reach up. And hands come down, big shoulder roll. All right, so let's bring, I'm gonna turn around so that you could see my arm position. You could use a strap if you need to, or you know what, you don't even have to bring the arms together. So let's take the arms up, bring your right hand up, place the hand between your shoulder blades. Now the left arm will either bind, you could grab the fingertips, you could grab for clothing, or you could just fake it, you know. All right, so move into, let's focus on the right side of your body. So as you inhale, lift the right elbow up to the ceiling and then turn your tricep towards your ear. Breathe into the side. You can feel that ripple all the way down into the shoulder blades. So if this is causing you any pain by any means, let go of the bind. Work with what feels good in your body. So all these shapes that we're taking are suggestions. If something isn't feeling good for you, then back off. Yeah, all right, switch it up. So take the left arm up, Get nice and long. Opposite arm comes to in the right hand arm. You're going to feel this in the shoulder. It's a really nice way to get into the front of the shoulder, the anterior deltoids. Lengthen up through the elbow. Breathe deep. Nice full breaths. Give yourself 2 spaced breaths. Good. Inhale, reach out, shoulder roll. And we'll make our way onto our back. So just make sure your block is readily accessible. So we'll put that close by. Lay on your back. Bring your knees into the chest. Give yourself a little massage. Rocking, massaging the hips. This next movement, it is a core strengthening movement, but it's decompress the back of your hips and just get out of any tightness, because the hips are pretty there's a lot of stuff happening in the hip girdle, and we have to unlock that hip before we can get into some deeper back bends. So take your knees up, shins parallel to the floor, knees right on top of the hips, feet and knees to start. Now reach your right leg up to the ceiling, turn your toes turn them slightly in, and then flex your foot down. So it's kind of like your pigeon-toed. Interlace your hands behind your head. Take a breath in. Exhale to pull your belly button down. Good. Now inhale, lift the head and shoulders off the mat. Now exhale, just lift the hips. Lift from the hip here. 1, 2, 3. Good. Knees come back to, or feet come back together. Take a breath in. Exhale, lift up a little bit higher. Take your left leg up to the sky. Turn the toes in. Take a breath in. Exhale, pulse. 1, 2, 3. Good. Bend the knees. Take a breath in. Come up high. Exhale. Right leg comes up. Flex the toes. Feel that activation. So we're reaching from the hip all the way through the heel. Turn the toes in. So we're creating internal rotation of the thigh bone. And pulse. 1, 2, 3. Bend the knee. Take a breath in. Exhale. Left leg. Turn the toes in. Flex the toes back. And pulse. 1, 2, 3. Good. Hug it out. Now, if you did the hamstring class yesterday, you might be feeling that right now. All right. Now, let's come into bridge, supported bridge. So grab your block. Work with the lowest height to start. So if this is new for you, we want to work with the lowest height and then gradually build ourselves up to a higher height. So lift the hips, slide the block underneath your sacrum. That's the triangular bone at the base of your spine. And let's take the left leg, no, actually right leg. So just for the visual here. So the right leg comes up. If your hamstrings are tight today, do this with the knee bent. We're just feeling the range of motion here. Left heel is directly underneath your left knee. So find the strength in your leg. Reaching actively through the foot. Now bend your knee. Grab hold of your foot if you can, and then slide the foot underneath you. Only go as far as comfortable for yourself here. So I could probably bump it up a little bit higher and just work with that. This is probably a new shape for some of you, so work within your range of motion. If this is a lot on your knees, then stay in supported bridge without adding this half sleeping hero. Also, the top of your foot might feel cramped, and if that's the case, curl the toe under. So what we're doing is we're unlocking the front of our right hip. So we're feeling that right hip, but also feeling a good stretch in your quad. Breathe into the sensation. We're here for about 4 more breaths. Can you amplify your breathing into any spaces that you're feeling resistance? So wherever that is, maybe it's a physical resistance. It might even be a mental thing that's coming up, like a conversation where you're like, I can't do this. Like, this is hurting. Maybe we rebalance. If it's pain, come out. But if it's something that's creating like an igniting or fire in your body, then maybe stick with it. Okay. Help your foot back out. Bring the right heel underneath the right knee. Left leg up to the ceiling. Feel the hamstring as you press your heel up to the sky. Now on the next exhale, bend the left knee, grab hold of your foot, slide the foot underneath, only going as far as you can that feels comfortable. Again, if you have any sensations where there's pain or cramping in the left foot, then curl the toes under. And always a nice option to keep in supported bridge. And we'll just breathe into this here as we're lengthening those tighter muscles. So if you think about this anatomically, when we come into back bends, the entire front side of the body needs to open up. And in this time, a lot of us are spending more time sitting down. So maybe we're housebound or we're like working from home. It doesn't take much. We don't have a lot of standing activity throughout the day most of the time. So this might be a time for you to just really dive into opening the front of the body. All right, release the foot. Activate your glutes. Lift your hips up. Come onto your toes. Slowly roll down, one vertebrae at a time. Now, before the tailbone hits, keep tucking your tailbone. So tuck, 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 tuck. Really big tuck to stretch the lower spine. Stay here for 2 breaths. So I'm dropping the navel in, curling my tailbone a lot. Good. Now release the hips down. Take a breath in. Breath out. Feel your spine on the mat. The knees can knock together, and just take a pause here in resting. Now you can rock yourself through seated to come into down dog, or just make your way over into that shape. All right, so down dog. Pedal out your feet. Get some movement into your legs. Now, you can always have bent knees in your downward dog. Think of lengthening through the spine. Hands are pressing down and forward. Now lift your hands, step, step, ragdoll. Bend your knees a lot. Let your belly and your ribs rest on your thighs. The weight of the head is dropping towards the mat. Now let's give ourselves a little bit of extra traction here. Interlace your hands, bring it to the base of your skull. Then the elbows will drop heavy. If this is too much of resistance, then keep your fingertips on the mat, or you just keep your hands at the elbows. Now we're not actually pulling, we're just working with gravity here for more traction. Head is heavy. All right, fingertips to the shins, halfway lift. Fold, exhale. Now, Roll up nice and slow. Crawl your hands up your legs. Feel this one vertebrae at a time. Your head will be the last to come up. Just give yourself a moment here. Recalibrate your breath. As you've come to standing, you might feel a little bit lightheaded. The blood is quickly rushing down to the feet, so just give yourself a moment. And feel your feet press into the mat, sway from side to side. All right. Inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knees, fold forward. Hands to your shins, halfway lift, stretch your chest. Bow, exhale. Bend the knees, inhale, reach up with a strong spine, come all the way up to the top. Hands in front of your heart. Take a breath in, reach. Exhale to fold. Inhale, stretch, broaden across your collarbones. Now the back of the legs might be screaming at you here, so bend the knees as much as you need to. Fold, exhale. Inhale, rise, come all the way up. Hands in front of your chest. Inhale to reach. Exhale to fold. Halfway lift. Now hands will come down. Let's take a step back with your right foot. Drop your right knee onto the mat. Let's keep the hands down today, or for this first round of lunge. Let the weight of the hips sink down. Move right into the hip flexors. Breathe in through the nose. Weight of the hips sink down as you exhale out the nose. Plant your palms flat, curl your back toes under. Now lift your hips, come into downward, not downward dog, high plank. Shift forward and back on your toes. Be in your body. Notice what or the chest sagging. Is the belly dropping, or maybe the legs are tiring? There's always some nice modifications to come into. So we want to support the body in a way that we're not releasing our energy. Okay, come down to the tummy, nice and slow. Inhale, let's come right into Sphinx or a baby cobra. Actually, let's do Sphinx. Elbows are down. They're underneath the shoulders. Now, more of an active Sphinx pose. Lift the legs a little so that you could get the fleshy parts of the thighs out of the way. Now, hook your pubic bone into the floor. Take a breath in. Exhale, traction yourself forward. So it's kind of like you're trying to drag your lower half of the body on the mat. Breathe into the back. If this is too high of an incline, you can always bring the hands forward as you traction your spine forward. Good. Release your chest down, hands under the shoulders, push back, child's pose. Lift your hips, downward dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, reach your right leg up. Exhale, knee to your nose, cat stretch your back. Step your foot beside your right thumb, drop the left knee down. Let the weight of your hips sink. Notice how this is feeling. Maybe it's feeling like a lot in your glute as well. So wherever you're feeling this, breathe into it. Take a breath in. Exhale, shift the weight forward. Step forward to fold. Halfway lift. Bow, exhale. Inhale, reach up, come all the way up to the top. Interlace your fingers, release your index fingers. Breathe in, get nice and long. Exhale, come up and over to your right. So my shoulders, they're sneaking up on me here. So you can always bring the shoulders forward. Maybe just feeling them come behind you. Whatever is working for you, where you're feeling a sensation. So I know it's pretty common for yogis who practice this pose a lot that they become hypermobile in the joints. So just be aware of what's going on. Or they might even be too loose where they drop the shoulders all the way down. Good. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, up and over, opposite direction. Firm up the thighs. Breathe deep. Good. Inhale, back up to the center. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Left foot steps back this time. Rise up onto your front thigh. Let the hips down. Breath in. Now, as you exhale, curl the back knee or curl the leg. If that's kind of funky on your knee, then you can pad the knee or just keep the foot down, whatever is working for you. Breathe deep. Hands come down to the mat. Curl the back toes under. Step back, high plank. Rock forward, lean into the toes, all the way down to your tummy. Nice and slow. You can use the knees if you need to. This time, baby cobra. Lift the chest. Use the hands, pull yourself forward. So this is a nice place to stay. If you have low back sensitivity, you could stay right here, or you could lift your feet, come into a full locust. Arms could come behind you, beside you, maybe into cactus. Full locust. Get long through the spine. Breathe in. Exhale, release down. Stack your palms under your forehead. Breathe deep into your back. It feels so good to sigh or make noise when we release. You could do that as loud as you want. You know, you're by yourself. Everybody's muted. Go for it. Let's just do it. Let's do it together and we can all laugh that somewhere in the world somebody is sighing the same time as you. So take a breath in. All right, hands under your shoulders. Push back, child's pose. Come all the way back. Downward dog. In. Long breath out. Okay, left leg up. Exhale, knee to your nose. Cat stretch. Come all the way through. Quiet landing. Land the knee. Rise onto your thigh. So patting the knee, you could fold it over your mat over. Let the hips sink down. Take a breath in. Now exhale, curl your back heel. You can always use your block if you're feeling like shaky or wobbly. Use a block. And just notice if you're clenching the teeth or locking in the face. Relax the teeth. Good. Let the toes come down. Hands to the mat. This time we step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold in, exhale. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach up to the top. Exhale, hands in front of your chest. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Stretch the chest forward. Reach the hips back. Hands to the mat. Step back to high plank. Option to set your knees on the floor again. Press the floor away. Get strong through the heels, strong through the legs. Now lean into it. Come all the way down to your tummy. Nice and easy. All right, inhale, baby cobra. Lift the chest. So we're gradually going to build here. You can keep the hands here if you're feeling like, yeah, my back is a little bit soft. So we want to become aware of that. Notice what's happening here. So we develop a relationship with our body just as you would communicating with anyone else, yeah? Take your hands out to cactus or a little bit wider, maybe even on the floor. Take a breath in. Exhale, lift your legs. You're welcome to keep the feet down. Now take the hands right off the mat. I always like to pretend I'm skydiving. No, just kidding. Okay. Take an inhale, lengthen. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now, when we land, let the feet land, hands under the shoulders. Full breath in. Exhale, upward dog, upward dog. Lift all the way up. Pull your chest forward, soften the elbows, and see if you can activate your upper back muscles. You know, the ones that we were stretching in Eagle? See if you can feel that. Wrap around the chest. Wrap around the spine. Big inhale. Now engage your core. Exhale, lift your downward dog. Pedal it out. All right, breathe in and breathe out. Now, if you would like to have a good time, or we can hang out here just for a couple more breaths. Maybe even taking a moment in child's pose to recalibrate, to reset. All right, come back into downward dog if you're not already there. Reach your right leg up high. Exhale, knee to your nose. Step forward, come into warrior one position. So feet hip width distance apart. Back foot is turned to 10 o'clock. Rise up. Sink down through the hips. I'm going to turn this way so that you can see the arm positioning here. All right, so we'll pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Inhale to reach your arms up. Bring your right hand between the shoulder blade. Left hand comes for the bind. We did this in the warm-up. Option to grab for clothing, maybe a strap or a towel, or just fake it. Keep lifting your elbows straight up to the sky. Let's take a gentle back bend here. Engage through the belly. Press actively into your back foot. Stabilize your foundation. Notice what's going on with the hips. Can you engage the glutes, engage the hips in a way that they're supported? Okay, now come back up to neutral spine. Take a breath in, just stretch the arms. Let's switch it up. So we'll bring the left hand, this time to the nape of your neck. Take your right forearm to the low back. Breathe in. Exhale, rolling pin your spine down and stretch the heel of your head or the head up to the ceiling. Spinal traction. So now we're taking the skull in our left hand, pulling it towards the ceiling as the right hand or right forearm is kneading the low back. Good. Inhale, rise back up to center. Big breath in, reach up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back into high plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, carry through, downward dog. Take your left leg up. Exhale, step forward, warrior one position. Inhale to rise. Exhale, sink down. Now you can shorten the stance, you can reposition the feet, work with a wider stance if you're feeling wiggly or wobbly. Now reach up, take your left hand between the shoulder blades, right hand comes down for the bind. Stretch up, lengthen. Okay, now lift up and back. Feel the sides of your body yawning open. Pull in through the lower belly so that you're still supporting the back. Listen to your breath. Amplify it if you need support. So we're calling on the inner body for help. Recuperating energy, recruiting energy from our external sources just by breathing. Good. Inhale, reach up, reach, reach, reach. Now bring your right hand to the nape of your neck. Pinky comes right into the base of the skull. Left forearm crosses the low back. Take a breath in. Exhale, pull. Find those opposing forces. As you lift the skull up to the ceiling, you're massaging your low back. What's going on with the legs? Are they still engaged? Keep pressing into the outer edge of your back foot. Traction the neck, traction your spine. Breathe. Massage your neck while you're here. Good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step back into high plank. Lower all the way down, nice and slow. To the belly, nice and easy. This is called a cobra push-up. Hands under your shoulders. Take a breath in. Breath out, contain the belly. Inhale, get long. Exhale, lift your chest. Hands to the earth. Take a breath in, come all the way up. Full cobra. You might need to walk your hands forward. Exhale, come all the way down. Breathe into your low back. We'll do 2 more like that. Exhale, baby cobra. Hands can stay on the mat. Breathe in. Contract a little bit deeper. Inhale, full cobra. Come all the way up. Now the next round, it'll be full breath, 1 breath per movement. Exhale all the way down. Breathe into your low back. Exhale, baby cobra. Hands could float up. And hands come back down. Inhale, full cobra. Come all the way up. And exhale down. Exaggerate your breath into your back. Stack your palms under your forehead. Breathe deep. And bring your hands under your shoulders, push back, tabletop, child's pose, just for a stretch. Get long through your sides. Might even feel good to have this child's pose with the hands beside your feet as the shoulders roll over the knees. Knees are closer together. All right, back into downward dog. Now there's one more back bend I'd like to get into. Crawl through your hands and lay on your back. Now we've been in bridge before. You can practice an active bridge, or if you'd like to come into wheel, we're pretty warmed up. We could go there now. So I'll be instructing wheel. If you'd like to do bridge, just go ahead, lift your hips up. You can also come into that variation of supported bridge, again, where it's nice and passive. The block is there to support you. All right, so wheelers, you're gonna bring The feet underneath the hips. Hands are beside your ears with your fingertips pointing to your shoulders, elbows pointing straight up to the ceiling. So as we breathe in, make your way up onto the crown of your head and lift your shoulder blades off the mat. So as I'm looking at my hands, they're in chaturanga position. Take a breath in, exhale, come all the way up. Open up the chest. My toes are trying really hard to turn out, so keep pointing the toes straight forward. Open up your chest, open up the entire front of your body. One more breath in. And exhale, chin to chest, lower onto your shoulder blades, bridge pose. Bridge, nice and easy. Come up onto your toes and roll down, one vertebrae at a time. Keep your feet mat width distance, and you can either windshield wiper the knees or you can let the knees come together. Just pause. Notice if you could feel a vibration under your skin. It's your heart beating, the blood moving, it's circulating. All right, roll onto your right side. With the help of your left hand, press yourself up. Okay, so let's make our way into pigeon. So bring the right knee forward and the left leg will sweep back behind you. Now, your variation of pigeon, actually no, let's come into full pigeon. Unless you have knee sensitivity, then you'll come into seated pigeon, which looks like this. That's seated pigeon. Otherwise, coming into full pigeon where the left leg will come behind you. Now you can use your block, or if you have something like a sweater or anything to wedge the hip under the hip. Now make your way down onto your elbows. I like to use the block, one under the chest, sometimes one under the forehead, so my entire body can relax. Maybe you have a bolster or like one of those foam roller thingies. Those are cool too because you can just like lay with it right underneath your body. All right, so we'll add a little twist here. Come up onto your elbows and bring your left forearm parallel to the short end of your mat. The right hand will come just outside the knee. Breathe in, get long. Now twist. Just twisting it out. Are you twisting in one spot, or are you feeling this twist through your entire spine? Breathe deep. All right. Bring your hands to the mat. Curl your back toes under. Lift, come into three-legged down dog. The right leg will come up high. Bend the knee, open your hip. All right, knees come down. And we'll do the left side the same way we came in on the first side. So let all the weight drop onto your left hip. Right leg sweeps behind you. Lift the hips. then sink down. Ease your way into the sleeping pigeon pose. Shift the weight back into your hips. So just settling into your center of gravity. And so your center of gravity should be right over the hips. If it's like in the chest or the shoulders, bring the weight back. Just a few breaths. Come up onto your elbows if you're not already there. Bring your right forearm parallel to the short end of the mat. Left hand to the outside of your left knee. Breathe in, get long. Reach from the toes through the crown of the head. Then start to twist. Now, you can use the left hand to support you in the shape, but try not to like muscle your way in. We're just really feeling the support of and balance, really. Open up through the entire body. Okay, come on down. Hands come onto the mat. Get stronger through your entire core. Lift the back knee. Three-legged down dog. Left leg up, back. Bend your knee. Open the hip. And settle down. Knees come down. Swing the feet off to one side. Have a seat. All right, so let's come into a half lotus or cross legs. So half lotus, the foot is going to come up onto your hip crease and the bottom foot is supporting your knee. So the foot's right into the hip crease. Now if you're just like, yeah, my knees, they ain't going there. They're not, that ain't happening today. Cross legs, cross legs. I'm going to turn around so you can see what's going on in the back side of the body here. So my right foot is in the left hip crease. I'm going to take the right hand, cross the low back, grab either for the waistband of the pant or the hip, or you could grab your big toe. The left hand will come to the outside of the knee, of the right knee. Take a breath and sit up tall. Twist. Now try to bring the right shoulder blade around the spine. Open up across your chest. Breathe in, sit up. Twist more on the exhale. Good. All right, unravel, and we'll switch sides. So this time your left ankle comes into the right hip crease. The right foot is supporting the bottom knee. Take your left hand, cross the low back, either grabbing for the waistband of your pants, your hip crease, or your big toe. The right hand to the outside of the left knee. Breathe in, sit up. Exhale, twist. Give yourself some length. Lengthen out your right side too, if you can. Then feel the left shoulder blade wrap. Nice and tall in the upper back. All right, let it go. Soles of your feet can come together. The knees drop open. Now, if your knees are high, sit on your block. That will help to relax the knees down. Hands can walk forward, and we'll just do a passive forward fold. so passive. Maybe the hands, the palms turn up to the ceiling. The head rounds forward. All right. Crawl your way back up. Hands to the outside of your knees. Help your knees close. Come onto your back for Shavasana. So lay back. You can bring, maybe if you have like pillows or something to rest under the knees. Take your hair out of your ponytail or if you have it tied back, and then just give it a good old shake, a little shampoo. This feels really good to like massage your scalp and then pull a little bit at the root. All right, legs can come out. Now, before we settle right into Shavasana, we'll practice a little bit of breath movement and retention. So retention, there's a light hold on the top of the inhale or the bottom of the exhale. So we're just keep the body and soften right into our Shavasana. Empty your breath completely. You could place one hand on the tummy, one hand on the heart if you like. Nice and slow, inhale into the belly, into your chest. Hold it at the top, subtle restriction, maybe even dropping the chin down. And now exhale, let it all out. Hold out the exhale. Draw your navel down towards the floor. Feel the pelvis engage. The core of your body is drawing into the center line. Good. Now inhale without gasping. Come up to the top. Hold. Feel the hands floating away from your body. A little restriction as you drop the chin down, stimulating the glands in the throat, the thyroid gland. Exhale. Pull it all out. Empty, empty, empty. And release. Let your breath come to its natural pace. Like you're telling a quiet secret to the room. Soften your breathing. If you can see or feel that you're still trying to prop yourself up, relax your body. Relax like a heavy weight is dropping down on you, a heavy blanket. Maybe you hear the sounds from outside the room. Just a couple points as you hear them. And bring your awareness to the sounds that are occurring on the inside of the room. Just the sounds in the inside of the room. And we shift our awareness to the sounds that are happening in the inside of the body. It's the blood moving through the veins. Or perhaps it's the softness of your breathing. Let's relax so deep, so heavy into the earth. And if you have time today, stay in Shavasana, rest. Give yourself that space and permission to transition back into your day. Thank you for your energy, for your time. My deepest bows to you, from my heart to yours. Namaste.